Sports Talk at the stadium from Clemson's Death Valley, presented by South Carolina soybean farmers and their checkoff. Learn more at scsoybeans.org. Pork, powered by soy. Tigers defeat Boston College on homecoming tonight. Final score of 34-17. Tigers improved to 6-0 overall, and they win their 14th straight game at home. That's a Clemson record, and they extend their winning streak over unranked opponents to 34. Boston College actually jumped out to a 7-0 lead. First time this season, the Tigers' opponent had scored first in a game, and it's the only time they've been behind other than in the Louisville game. The first touchdown came off a pass interception from Deshaun Watson that set up a short field for Boston College, and they capitalized on that. But the Tigers came right back. Watson with a 4-yard touchdown run to tie the game at 7. Then Hugel kicked a field goal to make it 10-7. Watson to Zach Brooks for 21 yards to make it 17-7. Late time. Tigers came out in the second half, and offensively and defensively were too much for the Eagles. Defensively, they held Boston College to 5 straight punts in the second half, their first 5 possessions. And Watson hit Leggett for a touchdown to make it 34-10. And then the Tigers knocked in, then BC knocked in a late touchdown, a meaningless touchdown to make it 34-17. So while the Clemson defense was doing its thing, the Clemson offense came alive, especially through the air in the second half. A shaky start for Watson in the first half. Mentioned those picks, overthrowing receivers, but he really settled in the second half. Despite having pressure from Boston College's defensive front, they hit him a lot. Dabo Swinney said after the game he was probably hit more than any other game he's played at Clemson. So it's a pretty physical defense from Boston College, and you would expect that. They were the number 1 team in the country on defense coming in, number 1 against the run. They pretty much took the Clemson run away, so Clemson had to rely on the passing game to pull this game out, and they did just that. The numbers, of course, decidedly Watson was fantastic, except for those interceptions. 420 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, his second career game of over 400 yards passing. He was 27 of 41 with the 2 interceptions and the 3 touchdowns. Artavis Scott had 10 catches for 162 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Renfrow had 3 catches, but Deion Kane was big. He only had 2 catches, 97 yards, including a 67-yard catch that he took down to the 1-yard line. That's the longest play from scrimmage for the Tigers this season. Defensively, again, they pretty much snuffed out the Boston running game. Make that the passing game, only 87 passing yards for Boston College. BC did have a few runs, especially on the inside. They were able to find a little bit of running room there and finished with 159 rushing yards, but again, they weren't able to put together any sustained long drives. They only scored points off of Clemson turnovers until that last long drive at the end of the game for a cosmetic touchdown. So the Tigers take care of business. They do what they have to do. They win another game. They stay in great shape in their division in the ACC. They stay high up in the rankings. They stay in the discussion for the college football playoffs. One more note from Clemson. The Tigers announced today that defensive lineman DJ Reader will rejoin the team for practice on Monday. He has been out since late August because of what the team has called personal reasons, so he has missed exactly half the season to this point, but he will return on Monday. Tigers back in action next Saturday. They go to Miami to play the Hurricanes. Kickoff has been set for noon on ABC National. Miami certainly will be sky high for this one. After losing to Florida State, it gives them a chance to win a game at home against a marquee opponent, take some of the heat off their coach if they can. So the Tigers had better be on their best down in South Florida. Tomorrow we'll have coverage of Dabo Swinney's conference call for you right here at talksc.com, and we look forward to talking with you about tonight's Tigers victory Monday night on Sports Talk. Have a great weekend.